I've had a really diverse experience in higher education over about the last 10 years. I've worked in a variety of roles, from policy related roles, student facing roles, operational roles and very strategic roles. How did I get into HE? Basically, I don't think anybody thinks that they're going to grow up to be a university administrator. I came to it as a brand new graduate and decided that I didn't really want to leave my university city, so I applied for jobs in all different sectors and got a job in the university. It was a 2-year role and was working with the Vice-Chancellor and the Registrar and Secretary at the university, looking at higher education policy and the external environment. And after 2 years of doing that, I thought this is probably something that I could keep doing. I'm good at it, and since then have moved on to various different roles that have kind of kept me here for nearly 10 years. So I've just become the new Director for Academic Services at the Saïd Business School at the University of Oxford. This is a brand new role that the Business School has created following a reorganisation of some of the administrative functions within the school. And the primary reason for that is to look at how we improve delivering a really high quality service for students and academics. So I've got a central programme services team who primarily look after assessment, student welfare, conduct, disability support, as well as the research office, so thinking about pre and post award and how we encourage our early career researchers, some broader academic administration, teaching planning for instance, and then also some programme administration for our DPhil students, so PhDs, as well as undergraduate students and some of our smaller master's programmes. So the University of Oxford is a very different university to any other that I've worked in before. It's a collegiate-based university, which 30 or 40 almost individual universities acting in and of themselves. So there's a lot of people to meet first and foremost, and that's basically what I've spent a lot of the last 4 weeks doing. But also you've got to then start thinking about how basic processes are very complicated because of the different stakeholders that are involved, and so for the business school, who have students across most of the colleges at the University of Oxford, this presents some challenges in the way that we provide support to our students on their programmes, the way that we interact with our academics who are also members of colleges. So I think that's what makes Oxford kind of different to a lot of other places, is its collegiate nature. But no, everybody's been very, very kind, very welcoming, and yeah, first impressions, the job's going very well. So the current role differs from the previous role in that this combines strategic and operational. So in my most recent role at King's College, where I was the school manager for one of the schools in a medical faculty, it was very operational facing, basically doing HR and finance and keeping those teams running. This role is a bit different because it kind of combines the two. I've got core teams that are delivering some of the key operations in the school, but I've kind of stepped into a strategic role which looks at how we improve and develop the processes that make that delivery and those services work best for students and staff. So one of the reasons that I decided to look for a new role, and in particular that brought me to applying for this role here at the Saïd Business School, was looking to kind of bridge some of my experience between working at the very front line in a very small department which I was in at King's College London, to taking on a broader remit, but I wasn't quite done with thinking about my experience in a local department, and so finding that kind of operational strategic mix was really important, and when I saw this role at Saïd, it kind of stood out as one of those roles that combined both of those perfectly. So the advice that I would give to any AUA member thinking of moving into a kind of mid-level director appointment similar to the one that I'm in is find somebody in that role already, either in your own institution or in another institution, maybe using your kind of regional advocates as a way to find some opportunities there. Go and meet them, have a coffee, maybe virtually at the moment, ask them you know, what would they have liked to have known about the role before they took it on? What advice would they give to their younger self before taking on that role? And then once you've done that, start to identify the gaps in your own experience or your own skill set that you think you're going to need to develop in order to take on that role, and then talk to your manager in your annual appraisal or separately about how you can start to build some of those experiences, either, you know, taking on some additional project work, working collaboratively with other parts of the university, whatever it may be. I think one of the key differences about applying for a role and transitioning during the COVID pandemic has been not actually coming to the business school for any of the recruitment process. It was all done entirely remotely, and as well as the recruitment panel interviewing you and wanting to get to know you, it's really important for you to find out whether or not this place is going to be the place that you want to come to every day. And when it's all done remotely, it's very easy to kind of not see the human side to it. So I actually came to Oxford and to the Saïd Business School twice before I started, actually, to meet various colleagues, because I'd had none of that experience during the recruitment process. So for me, I think long-term, moving back into a central university service is probably where I'm going to go to draw upon the experience of this role and my previous one of being in a department. And yeah, probably something in academic registry is where I'm thinking. And so using the opportunity in this role to kind of start to bed some of those skills, maybe I'll find an academic registrar to go and talk to if I take my own advice.